CNBC just printed this out. Nearly 40% of investors who pulled money out of markets in the last year regretted it. Oh, so you figured out that when you pull money out of the market that it's a dumb idea because you usually pull it out when it's down. So you bought high and sold low. That's kind of the opposite of what you ought to be doing. All right? Well, the stock market is crashing, Dave, don't you know? Yeah, I do know. I just pulled it up just a second ago. Let me just tell you what it says today. Let's see here. Today, the stock market is down in the past 12 months, day over day, 12 exact months, 7.5%. That is not crashing. Bitcoin is down 52%. That is crashing.
That's a train wreck.
Okay? That's a train over the mountain in a black and white film wreck. Okay? But 7.5% is not your 401k became a 201k. You didn't lose all your money. Now, it's down from, let's see, the high point's January the 4th. It looks like 36,000, almost 37,000 Dow, and the Dow's down around 31 right now. So it's down more than 7.5% since January. But over the last 12 months, it's down 7.5%. That's not exactly a crash. It's not good. I'd rather it be up 17%. I'm not happy about that, but it's not exactly reason for you to panic. Time is the ultimate weapon when it comes to investing, said Matt Schultz, the chief credit analyst at LendingTree. Gives younger investors a huge advantage over their older counterparts. Unfortunately, however, Gen Z and millennials risk squandering that advantage if they pull their money out of the market when times get tough. Well, let me just help you with this, Matt. All of you are stupid when you pull your money out of the market when it gets tough. You don't have to be Gen Z. You can be 50, 60, 70 years old, and you just go, oh, God, and you sell low. That's just the worst possible time to sell it. Ride the wave. Trust that better times are ahead, this quote says. And I agree with that. Ride the wave. So my quote always is, no one gets hurt on a roller coaster except those that jump off in the middle. But here's an interesting thing. Some 38% of investors said they sold stocks last year due to a current event like extreme inflation, Ukraine, whatever, according to a study from Magnify Money. Of that group, 40% said they wish they hadn't done it. The online survey of more than 1,000 U.S. consumers was conducted on April 15th.
And the other 60% just
wouldn't admit it.
Yeah, they wouldn't. They haven't seen.
They still haven't looked at it. They still haven't looked at it. Because here's an interesting thing with the fear that happens there. We've talked about this before, where there's psychological studies done that say you have to gain $3 to feel like you broke even with a $1 loss. Losses have more impact on your psychology than gain does.
Right.
More negative impact than gain does positive impact.
Right.
And so, in other words, we all are negative ninnies at our soul in some sense,
Yep.
And so the thing that goes with that then is this idea that then they add a narrative to it when they get out that is hyperbole, that's not true.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so they say things like, well, back in 1987, Black Monday, I lost everything in the stock market. What do you been listening to your grandfather from the Great Depression? You didn't lose everything. The stock market didn't go to zero. You had the money in mutual funds, and it went down 25% in one day. But it didn't go to zero. It was a cataclysmic event. It was not a good day, but it didn't go to zero. And so you didn't lose everything. What happened was you pulled your money out at the bottom, and you felt really stupid because you were stupid for doing that. And then you had to make up this story that made it sound like the stock market is the villain.
Right, and that you just got off on a lifeboat just in time.
Yeah. Well, and it was just, it's not, you don't put money in there because I lost everything back in the day of what I had all my money and got to zero. And no, it didn't. It's mathematically impossible. Unless you had all your money in a single company and that company went completely broke and was liquidated and they had no assets and the Chapter 7 bankruptcy trustee couldn't sell the assets and get a dime because that would have been distributed to the stockholders. So, I mean, this is almost physically impossible for you to get absolutely zero.
Right.
Now, I lost a lot.
Yeah.
Or I lost an amount that made me feel really scared. These are accurate statements.
Yep.
But we have to add to this somehow to put a stake in the ground to somehow
we have to create a story
to offset the fact that we know this was a bad idea.
That's right. And nearly 70% of Gen Z investors pulled money. 70%, 7 out of 10. They have only known this bull run for the last few years, and they don't know the roller coaster goes down ever, right? So here we are.
Wait a minute, it goes down too? Who knew?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So ride it out.
I gotta get out.
Ride it
no,
out.
This is exactly the wrong time to sell. Oh, by the way, the market's down. That means it's on sale. This is the time to buy.
Put
It's
more.
not the time to sell.